anything, any queries?
Yeah, I got one more query.
Yeah, good question, please.
So, uh, we have raised a PR and we got like multiple comments, right? And before that, we have obviously we have assured one ETA, right? So, how to obviously it will take some amount of time to address all those comments and get things done, right? So obviously it will affect on that ETA, right? So uh, how can we set that ETA in that like it won't how can we adjust that ETA the next ETA or kind of thing? You got one question, right?
Right. The deadline. How can
Exactly.
you keep up with the deadline?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, that's a good question. That a good question, and also different varies from company to company. But I think so when you are basically saying so generally what happens is that again it can vary from company to company, but in my company or what in my whole professional career, generally whenever there is some feature that is given to you, people will ask you that give me a timeline you can implement this, right? That give me the estimated effort that within this that you're gonna build this, right? So what you need to do is that you know yourself best. I would say that do not give a optimistic deadline, right? Optimistic means that your best scenario you will basically implement this feature by in 2 days, right? I would say that when you are initially take a buffer of a day, right, and then give it a basically 3 day, right? Say that I will implement this thing. You can also say that I think in best scenarios I can implement it in 2 days, but considering that I'm not pretty familiar with lot of code workflows, it will take 1 extra days, right? And when you are saying into 3 days, you should also add the timelines of testing, the PR reviews, PR reviews time. What happens is that most of the people, especially in the beginning, do not cater in the time it will take for you to review and also to basically fix those comments, right? And also the testing time. So add when you are giving those estimates, you should include development, testing, PR reviews, and basically subsequent PR comments. The time it will take to basically resolve those comments. So add all of this and then give the timeline, and that timeline should not be optimistic. It should always either be idle or you can take a day of buffer. So if you are following this standard, following this practice, you will never get into scenarios where you are in a you are in a very stressful situation of shipping out, shipping this feature out, but your reviews have not been completed yet.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you have to take that buffer time with you. So when you are starting off, at least then. And with time you will get hold of it. But for the beginning, you have to consider that buffer time. So yeah. So anyone else, guys, do you want to ask anything?
So Kotesh, one thing that I would like to add to your question. So basically, it's been more than a year that I am working now. But once what happened was I was just asked to implement. I just had to add an image in the options. Okay, select drop down. Okay. So what do you think? If you are asked to put that, what will you think? That you can do it in 2 hours or maybe 1 hour or something?
Exactly.
Right. But it was in Angular. Okay. And it was not latest one of it. It was Angular JS. The oldest version of it. Okay. So I thought that it will take me 1 or 2 hours or kya. So I said that I'll take it, but still because of my past experience, I knew that I had to take a buffer time, so I had to take a day. That's it. So more than a day, what will you take for an option? But then when you start implementing it, oh my god, I realized that you cannot put images in all. Does not allow us to add an image. So even if you try to put it in any way, be it JS or image tag or anyway, it was not just happening. It only takes text. So I was I got mad with the documentation. Everywhere I was searching for how to put it inside Angular JS, an image inside options, but I could not find anything. I found one thing ng select box, something like that. that goes with Angular JS. So that was the entire code. I had to link it with the CDNs and everything, etc., etc. Then I implemented the whole JS part. It was already predefined, pre-written library. Okay. So even then, it took me 2 days, and even then it was not working. Okay, you can imagine. Sometimes it's not possible to give a correct ETA, because even if you think, unless you just start doing it, you will never know where it's gonna take you. Okay, so there can be situations where you think that okay, it can take me a day or two, but sometimes it's more than that. So what I learned from this was that we should not go by what the feature is, but we should first, as soon as we get the PRD or the feature to implement, we should first see is this possible or not, how should we implement this, and before giving the ETA, so that we can get the resources first, and usi time then and there we'll get to know that okay, this cannot it might take 2 days or so, right? So yeah, so ETA is something too tricky sometimes. So before giving a proper timeline or estimated timeline, just go and look at the feature. Even the easiest ones might be scary. Okay.
You just literally freaked me out. Okay.
No. Actually,
No.
Whenever you are stuck somewhere and you have given the ETA, the best thing is talk to your manager. Tell them that you are stuck over there, and he will understand. He'll help you out. That's why we have managers, right? That's why we have tech leads. So when you are stuck, something like that. So nothing to worry about. It just happens.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And this is not to freak you out, but this is we are preparing you.
Exactly. I was just kidding, but that makes complete sense. We shouldn't be we should not we should basically think about that thing. We should go through the requirement and we should start it off, right? Then only we'll get that how long it will take exactly. Thanks for sharing your experience.
Yeah, I think the two mistakes that I can notice out with that is, first is that when you are giving basically you should not give estimates just like we got on a call with the manager say that okay, this is a feature that is there, how much time it will take. That doesn't happen. If it is happening in company, generally it doesn't happen like that. Basically they will give you the feature, then take your time, go through the implementation part of it. The first thing that in your mind you should be clear with the implementation, right? So generally what happens is that write the implementation doc, right? Or at least you should be having 100% clarity about the implementation. Once you written the implementation doc for it, right, or if you have a clarity of 100% of implementation, then you can basically you have to give the ETA, because you can never give the ETA without writing the implementation doc or having 100% clarity of the implementation. So you will always be wrong, right? So that's the first part, is that whenever you are given basically that give the ETA, write an implementation doc. If the implementation doc is not something that is followed in your company, have 100% clarity in your brain about implementation. When you go and write the implementation doc, you will go through the code, you will realize that you are not familiar with these other things. You can tell to your manager that this is the code that or workflow I'm not familiar with, so I need some extra time for that familiarity. Or maybe you can give this task to someone else who has that familiarity of the code. So that's the first part of it. I think and the second part is that let's say that you have given 2 days, and then you after everything you have given it right, and then you are struggling. After 1 day you realize that you are not going to meet it in 2 days, right? So I personally say that whenever you are stuck due to some problem, right, basically mess your head around for half an hour, but more than that, if you're not still finding the solution, reach out to your senior asking for the help, right? Because you are not the only one in the team. Of course there will be people who can help you out. Let's say that there is no one who can help you out, then that's a different thing, right? Then the different story. Then of course there you can take infinite number of time to implement it, because obviously there is no one who can tell that this can be done in 1 day. But if there is a team, and then you reach out to the person, say that I need your help to get this done, right? Can you basically, this is the problem I'm stuck with, can you help me out, can you unblock me, reach out to this, and then get it unblocked. But if that person is also not able to help you and you are still blocked, reach out to your manager saying that I think this task is not this is a pretty complex task, and I'm stuck with this, I'm blocked, and like the teammate is not able to help me, right? So of course either the manager will try to help it out, or arrange the resources who can help you out, redirect to that person, or then of course in that scenario they will have a clear expectation that we need to have a increase the deadline. So like shifting the timeline is not a problem. The only problem is that you should convey that information as soon as you can, or you should not waste time sitting it around and then you'll notify at the last end, because then manager will also not be able to help it out.
Exactly.
So communication is the key. You have to
Exactly.
communicate.
Yeah.